Hello and thank you for joining us today on We Are La Plata County TV. We're here with Charmaine Summers, who's the Foster Care and Adoption Supervisor for the county's Department of Human Services. And Charmaine, can you give us an overview of the county's foster care program?
Sure. We have about 17 licensed homes in La Plata County, and that covers Bayfield, Ignacio, Durango, and then we also cover Silverton. In those 17 homes, we have about 25 children placed, and the children's ages range from 1 infant up to about 18 years of age.
Oh, so it covers a broad spectrum then, yeah. How long does a child normally stay in the foster program?
You know, it really does vary, but I would say if we were to make a guess, it probably would be between 3 to 9 months.
And how do kids wind up in the foster system typically?
So generally there's always an allegation of abuse and neglect within the child's family. And once the department decides to become involved with that family because of that abuse and neglect, we work very closely with the family to provide resources and services to the family to try and mitigate those safety concerns. We will also depend on family and friends to see if we can get their involvement in the family to mitigate any safety concerns. Unfortunately, if that is not successful, then we do need to look at removing the children from their biological homes and putting them into a foster home.
Okay, so it's really a last resort.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. So how does somebody go about becoming a foster parent?
So it is a pretty lengthy process because we do want to ensure that our homes are safe and well skilled for the children that come into care. And so the process can normally go for about 3 to 6 months. And so it will involve an application, it will involve fingerprint checks, it will involve a lot of training, a home inspection to ensure that the physical elements of the home are safe. And then we also do a home study. That's just kind of briefly the overview of what it takes to be a foster parent.
So making sure there's solid protections for our kids.
Absolutely. Yeah, and to ensure that foster parents are skilled also to deal with behaviors that stem from abuse and neglect.
And on that note, I would assume that this is a challenging and also rewarding endeavor for families. What sorts of supports do you provide for foster families and the kids?
Yeah, so we have a unit in our department that's called the resource unit. And once a person expresses interest in being a foster parent, they get assigned a resource worker who basically walks them through from the beginning to the end of the certification process. And then following that, once they get a child in their home, there's also a resource worker. That same resource worker will continue to follow them to provide any resources, whether that be play therapy for the child, therapy for the foster parents, respite. We provide annual trainings in the year for foster parents, and a number of other social events like a support group once a month. So we really do understand that this is a challenging endeavor for foster parents to take on, and so our county is very mindful of the fact that we need to provide resources and supports to our foster parents.
Great. Sounds like you really build a community around the families.
We absolutely do, yes.
Great. So what are your program's biggest needs? What do you need from the community at this point?
Sure. So like I mentioned, we have 17 licensed homes. About 2 months ago, we actually had about 32 licensed homes. So because of adoptions or because of foster parents have moved out of the area, we are down significantly on the amount of foster homes that we have. And so in general, we would just like to build up our numbers. You know, it's always great to have a stay-at-home parent. It's always great to have foster parents that are there for adolescents. That's always kind of one of our biggest needs. And then, of course, we need foster parents in Ignacio, in Durango, in Bayfield, and Silverton so that children can stay in the area that they're being educated in and they don't have to make a number of changes.
Great. So if somebody wanted to get involved as a foster parent, how can they find out more?
So please do go to the county website. There is a foster care and adoption page there. My name, my email address, and my phone number is on there. And Megan, I just would like to share, 12 years ago I started this job, and I really had no intention of continuing in the foster care realm, but it didn't take me long. It was like maybe 2-3 months, and I fell in love with the program. I fell in love with the foster parents that we work with, because they truly are phenomenal people that do invaluable services and provide invaluable services to our community. So if you're anything like me, I do know that it's challenging and it's hard to get going to actually become licensed, but once you get going and once you have a child in your home, the rewards definitely outweigh the challenges. So I would encourage anybody listening to this, we would love to have a conversation with you about the possibility of being a foster parent.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.